Hello and welcome to the Mike and Jay podcast on YouTube. Today we're going to talk about some current events, some Star Trek, and I happen to have right here an actual Star Trek phaser.
Oh, wow.
Yep, now this is the same kind of phaser they used in Star Trek the original series, the 1960s TV show. So this is the phaser that Captain Kirk would use when battling the Klingons. Kirk to Enterprise, beam us up.
How do you keep track of all this Star Trek information?
Jay, just years of watching the shows, movies, I'm an encyclopedia of knowledge. But we're here today to talk about not just Star Trek, but some new information that's happened on Twitter. And we're here to explain it to the best of our ability.
Twitter, AKA the worst place on the internet.
Oh, I've seen worse.
Hey Mike, why is everybody tweeting at us about William Shatner?
Because William Shatner's tweeting at us, even though he blocked us.
Well, why? I legitimately have no understanding of what is going on, so I need you to explain to me this Twitter kerfuffle.
Yes, that's why we're here today, because we've been getting messages and we've been seeing threads and tweets about this William Shatner. They call it a boomer fight. And we are not fighting with William Shatner.
We haven't even talked to him.
We haven't even talked to him technically. We have nothing to do with this.
We didn't invite him onto our podcast.
That's number one. Number one, William Shatner and people out there, we did not invite William Shatner to come on our podcast or any of our shows.
No.
People did. Originally, this all started August of 2019. Someone said, William Shatner, you should go on RedLetterMedia. To that, Shatner replies, I don't know who they are. He was talking about Red Letter Day by the Pet Shop Boys. So there is some confusion right off the bat.
Was he trying to make a joke?
Don't know.
Is he always trying to make a joke?
And you know what? Just to lay this right out on the table, I don't even know if William Shatner's, verified account is actually William Shatner. Could be.
A lot of celebrities have people that take care of their social media accounts for them.
And then I wrote back, oh, Bill, how could you not have heard of us? We are formerly called the Pet Shop Dudes, so I understand the confusion. Oh, then he replied to us. I had a look at your link, which I didn't send a link. I think he meant I clicked on...
Someone probably sent him a video of ours or something in those replies.
And he might have been replying to somebody else.
Yeah.
Or he could have clicked on our Twitter and then went, oh, their YouTube channel, blah, blah, blah. Had a look at your link. Looks like a series of podcasts that you do. I wish you the best, but as most who follow me know, I do not book podcasts.
It's great to have you here, Bill.
Thank you. It was a joy, and
absolutely,
talking to you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, dude.
To that, I responded, "What's a podcast?" And that was the end of
to further add to the confusion because it's fun.
Yes, because Shatner's feed is just him arguing with people about tons of stuff.
That's why I would think it's probably really him. Because what social media handler would do would say all the weird nonsense that account says.
I mean, like hot button political stuff to... there was like a clickbait article about how in this new Star Trek show, Pike, The Adventures of Pike and Spock, that's allegedly being made by CBS All Access, they're going to have Kirk on the show and he's going to be a bisexual.
Okay.
And so they're like, Shatner, what do you think of this? Like, kind of baiting him to say, Kirk would never be gay, and they're trying to bait, and he's like, this was only one article on an unreputable website.
People are just trolling him, or he's trolling them?
There's a lot of trolling going on.
Okay. I guess we mildly contributed to it with the What's a Podcast response, but that's the only two times that you've ever talked to Shatner, right?
Yeah. And I never tried to, I mean, he doesn't follow us, so I couldn't message him. I never tweeted at him, hey, William Shatner, come on one of our shows.
Well, now you can't tweet at him.
No, and
neither can anyone who ever recommends Red Letter Media to him, apparently. He just starts going on a blocking spree.
I actually really like William Shatner.
Well, I've been an admirer of Mike's for a long time.
Unironically, I think he's actually a really good actor, especially in the original series. I started with the original series. And the original movies kind of segued into TNG. Rich and I talk all about this in our upcoming video. Mike and Rich talk about their favorite Star Trek The Next Generation episodes.
Oh my God, it's an exclusive.
Yes, it's 2.5 hours of talking about Star Trek.
The raw footage.
The raw footage. I haven't edited it yet, but it's coming up. We might delve into TOS, movies, who knows? Because we're not talking about New Trek anymore. We're done with that.
You're not going to talk about upper decks, lower decks?
Lower decks? Probably not.
Ooh, this is the new shuttle with the blast shield. The blast shield is the blast shield. And it comes down and it goes up. Blast shield.
Then more stuff happened recently, and I don't know what spawned that. It's very hard to dig through this mess. But Shatner doesn't book podcasts or streaming media, as stated in this response to a tweet. Thank you, but I don't book podcasts or streaming media. Parenthetical, just in case you are affronted by the term podcast. Sorry. And I think that's because everyone in the world started to tell him that Red Letter Media does not do podcasts. So when it all started, he kind of glanced over our site, saw that we weren't a major television network, saw YouTube, and just said, podcasts, and moved on. Yeah. Totally fair. I do not blame him one bit. In the initial Twitter exchange in August of 2019, even our friend Macaulay Culkin chimed in.
Do you think he blocked Macaulay Culkin?
Probably. He said, do it, Bill. It's a lot of fun, or something like that. I'm imagining the first video he clicked on was an episode of The Nerd Crew, and he thought it was for real.
Oh God, it's sparking.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God.
I did not expect this to happen.
Oh God, Rich, get the toast out. It's gonna start a fire.
He probably looked at The Nerd Crew for 5 seconds and was like, that's what I won't do.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
People were trying to explain to him that we do actual shows, right? Like Review, I guess, is our most legitimate show where we talk about a film that we love.
There's no goofy skits or nonsense.
Yeah, half in the bag. We have goofy skits, and then Best of the Worst, which is a drunken, rage-fueled nightmare, so much that it's permanently scarred Patton Oswalt. So there were a slew of responses, mostly defending us, saying that we are a decent YouTube channel with quality content, good reviews, some tongue-in-cheek humor, a lot of satire, but the point was made that we can do decent reviews of stuff. Then people were linking him the Star Trek The Motion Picture review, which starts off a little silly, but then Jim and I talk about the movie in detail. Then if you rewatch the entirety of the original series, Kirk Shatner, he's great.
I took the proper steps in the proper order. I did exactly what had to be done, exactly when it should have been done.
It's like he knows when to be sober and when to be focused, yes, and when to play it up and be sort of playful with things.
But on top of playing a character, he's also, as a leader, he's also acting on top of acting.
Yeah.
Because as a captain, you have to.
The movie's on his shoulders, and he has to lead it.
So Shatner watched the first 60 seconds of the Star Trek The Motion Picture review. And here's a quote, "Serious? I watched the first 60 seconds, and not only did I find it offensive, parenthetical, especially in the current culture of things, but the overt product placement when someone else argued that they make fun of podcasts that are corporate shills, make it laughable. Sorry, not for me." So, to explain that, somebody was telling him that The Nerd Crew is a satire of podcasts that are shilly for corporate interests like Marvel or, major studios.
Although I can't feel anything right now because I've been taking Gonk Zonk, a new antidepressant from Pfizer Chemicals made specifically for Star Wars fans.
So when we sat down to film the episode, we usually have a beer. And somebody had sent us a little 6-pack of like Federation beer, Star Trek The Next Generation beer, courtesy of Schmaltz Brewing Company in Clifton Park, New York. It's Star Trek The Next Generation beer, Captain's Holiday.
But it wasn't product placement.
But no, and nor have we ever done product placement.
Right.
Not once. Remember you and I had zombie dust on the Apocalypse. We're like, zombie
We just say
dust.
what we're drinking.
Like if we like a beer, we'll say we're drinking this today, and we have never received financial endorsements from anybody, not even New Glarus. But we have never received.
They owe us money by this point.
Yeah.
10 years of shilling for
$0. So we make fun of corporate shills because we are not corporate shills, and the Nerd Crew is that. Maybe he'll learn a little if Bill watches this video. Maybe he'll learn a little bit about us.
He's already clicked off the video.
He's already clicked off the video. Yeah. And then somebody said he was stupid for thinking we were shilling for fake Star Trek beer.
Because they should just expect him to understand everything about this YouTube channel he doesn't know anything about.
Yes, to which he replied, "No, I'm not a simpleton, sporto. They were plugging Federation beer, which would have been fine, but someone else pointed out they make fun of podcasters who are corporate shills. So what was that about? Plus, I wasn't appreciative of the ageist comments made about Sir Patrick."
Well, that we can't defend. Our mocking of the elderly, we can't really come up with an excuse for that one.
My joke was in reference to 1980s Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
I opened my beer, the beer overflowed. Oh, the beer was called Captain's Holiday, I think.
Okay.
Which is an episode of TNG where Picard is like forced to take a vacation, and he ends up on a little adventure with a lady named Vash, and there's some Ferengis, and they're searching for like hidden treasure or something. Picard falls in love with Vash. She steals archaeological relics and sells them.
Okay.
So Picard likes archaeology, but he appreciates it, and she's just like a con man who steals it and sells it for profit. So they got along because they had similar interests, but she's a little shady. Still, they fell in love, and they smooched at the end. But the beer was called Captain's Holiday, and I opened it, and it foamed over, and I said, "Looks like Captain had a good holiday." Captain had a good holiday. It was an ejaculate joke.
And that's what he thought was an ageist joke?
No.
Oh.
And then I said, Picard.
Then why did you explain all that?
Well, I'm setting it up, Jay. Humor is about setting things up because it has to do with sex. And then
Okay.
I said, oh, that was the episode with Vash, That Vash really worked her magic. That was a deep cut. Whereas Picard calls her Gash. She loves Picard's because she's into artifacts. Because her character searches for artifacts. And the actor, Patrick Stewart, at the time was probably a little bit older than her.
It's a quality joke.
She's into artifacts, that's why she loves Picard. Can I get a do you even get that joke? And so it wasn't really like an ageist joke, but that's as far as he got. He didn't get to the other hour of dissection and praise of William Shatner's acting and the quality film that is Star Trek the Motion Picture. So they gave up trying to show him something real like our video, talking very nice about Star Trek the Motion Picture. And then they started showing him Nerd Crew.
This is out of control. Oh no.
We gotta put the fire out!
Oh my god.
Oh my god, look! I got a Chewbacca! Okay,
I've got a Spider-Man.
Oh my god, it's spreading! Oh fuck!
Then he started posting pictures of me and making fun of my face. So this is what he wrote. So this Mike guy is a huge fan, but not a fanboy. And he does a show where he sits in front of a microphone with a bunch of Star Wars stuff, podcast style, and makes fun of people like himself. Okay. That doesn't sound like 80% of the podcasts out there now, does it?
See, now was he just trying to fuck with people? Is he trolling? Or is this an attempt at like a gotcha?
I don't know. Then
We may never know.
Then there's the picture of me holding the coffee mug, like cross-eyed with my silly hat on, and he wrote, "Is this a screen grab from the podcast with effort?" Because I think people had said they put a lot of effort into their stuff.
Oh, sure.
It looks like a podcast of a Star Wars / Marvel fan.
I mean, he's kind of right.
He's kind of right. It does look like that.
It does look like that. That's almost like it was by design.
And then there's a picture of me from the famous intro with Dick the Birthday Boy, where we're all in Halloween costumes.
Oh, yeah, you're wearing a Star Trek costume, right?
And it's like, okay, I went out to grab a Star Trek costume, and all they had was the J.J. Abrams crap. That's all I could find. I literally searched for a TOS era Spock costume, could not find one. So I had to buy the new Zachary Quinto version. And then he wrote, "Whomever this is," even though he's been told, this is Mike, he likes Star Trek, this is Mike. "Would you let him know that he's wearing a Kelvin timeline tunic? Hashtag not my timeline." The only use of the hashtag not my timeline. So then there was some controversy over what is and isn't a podcast. You could consider Half in the Bag review a podcast, because sometimes, I don't, but sometimes podcasters have a camera set up to where they can put it as a video.
Yeah, like Mike Tyson does that.
Yeah, he does?
He does, yeah. He has a YouTube channel and he has his podcasts on there.
So Shatner wrote to that effect, "Really? So the Mike Tyson podcast I did here isn't a podcast? You want to tell Mike he's wrong?" And they're talking about Mike Tyson.
But he doesn't do podcasts.
I don't know. That's the story, Jay. If you were curious, and I haven't quite figured it all out myself.
Okay.
I can totally understand William Shatner's perspective, where it's not his world, and people are throwing pictures up of.
That's when you just mute the conversation. The fact that he's egging people on is why I think he has to, at least to a certain extent, be just kind of messing around with people.
Yeah. We just wanted to throw it out there. What happened? Clarify it a little.
This is our story.
This is our story.
This is our truth.
We're sharing our truth. We did not ever invite William Shatner to come on any of our shows.
Nor did we encourage or engage in people bombarding him with tweets about Red Letter Media stuff. We had nothing to do with that.
Do you remember when we went and saw William Shatner live? And he took credit for the moon landings?
He took credit for the moon landings, and the show ended with a giant screen with the photo montage of himself and him sitting on the stage next to it, just looking up and admiring the photo montage of himself. It was a magical night.
Anyway, that's our little video. We did our best to explain the William Shatner Red Letter Media Twitter fight, of which it was not a Twitter fight. We barely had anything to do with it. Our name was besmirched and smeared all over Twitter, and it made it appear as we were harassing William Shatner. We weren't. I made a joke about the Pet Shop Boys a year ago, and this fucking thing is still going on. William Shatner is not coming on any of our shows. He never will. And leave him alone, because I just can't take Captain Kirk pulling up pictures of me on the Nerd Crew set and calling me a moron. My heart can't take it, okay? I've already been through enough Star Trek misery over the last 3 years. I can't take any more. Okay. Mr. Spock, teleport me up to the Star Trek Enterprise and prepare to go to hyperspace.